was with a girlfriend, and we were going to go hiking. It was in autumn, and we were going to look at the leaves. And we decided to go to the glacier museum that's in the Moraine Forest here in Wisconsin. And we get there, and she told me, well, we're going to just go for a short hike, and she had to get back. She had about a half hour to go hiking. So we looked at the map, and she picked out the route, and I go, you know what color signs we're going down? And she goes, yeah, I kept track of the color. So I let her guide us through, the woods, and I actually knew this woods pretty well. So we're hiking along, and I noticed that we were heading more south than we should be to turn back around. Long and behold, we were actually on the longest trail, which is about 3 hours through the Moraine, or that section of the Moraine. And, we're enjoying the day. It was like actually a pretty warm day for Wisconsin. It was about 80 degrees. Color was at its peak. It was absolutely gorgeous. And we came to a section of the woods, and leaves were just slowly falling down, and it was like very magical and like a fairy tale. And my girlfriend goes to me, don't think I'm weird, but when I was a little girl and I saw areas like this in the woods, I would pretend I was a fairy or a princess and, play pretend. And why I'm called Run Fairy, I do the Renaissance Fair, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm feeling really hurt because my girlfriend just, I felt like she was calling me weird, and she wasn't. And it was for that split second I felt hurt, but I go, wait 1 second. This is my friend telling me that she's feeling weird, and it's not me. And then I jokingly said to her, well, if you think you're weird, I actually get into a fairy costume and go to the Renaissance Fair and pretend to be a fairy as an adult. We both laughed, gave each other hugs, and everything was fine. And we went on our merry way. But I find it really odd how our shadow or our insecurities can come up at the worst possible moment and could be our worst enemy. And if we don't keep track and know ourselves well enough and know that the people that we're with, could actually end up in a very severe argument that could end a friendship. And if your friendship is not strong enough to recover from assuming something that they're possibly hurting you, could be devastating to you. So it's like really, a good thing to like journal, figure out who you are, try new things, and be yourself. It took many years for me to figure out that, the reason why I picked a fairy was an archetype inside me. I have several costumes for the Renaissance Fair. I'm a fairy, a maiden, a pirate. There's just some of them, and those are all different archetypes for me. The pirate's obviously my rebellious side. My fairy is my fantasy side. The maiden is when I want to feel like a lady, gentle, whatever. And they're all me. When I wake up to go to the Renaissance Fair, I sit there and actually, who do I feel like today? Do I feel like the fairy? Do I feel like the pirate? And it's easy for me to decide and get into that role and, because it's part of me. It's part of my archetypes. And I find it very relaxing getting out, in a safe way to do it. And that's sometimes what you have to find. In doing it, you just journal, start to get to know yourself, try new things. And that's all I gotta say. I hope you really enjoyed this, and thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious.